man, I didn't think we'd be this far into the show before getting to this, but getting to kind of the main topic about, is PulseChain the most important ecosystem in crypto? And some people might roll their eyes like, what are you talking about, dude? Shut up. Well, we're going to tell you why. Because more and more publications and more people are catching on to the SEC lawsuit and Richard's attorneys fighting back and how important that really is. And it's funny because people like to throw Richard under the bus because they don't like him. Meanwhile, they support like heavy VC funded chains and stuff like that that have nothing to do with DeFi or real cryptocurrency or anything. But, you know, there are people out there that need to realize that we should all be aligned in this fight and that the SEC is going after everybody. We just saw the lawsuit against, or the Wells notice anyway, against OpenSea today, the NFT platform. So Richard Hart did file, his attorneys filed a response to the motion to dismiss filing on August the 22nd. The response back to the SEC, the summary of events and arguments. I sent you. Oh, that's not the one I wanted you to bring up. But I think there's the nuclear herbs maybe bookmark tweet if you want to bring that up that I sent you, Ewok. But Richard's attorneys filed 186 pages of exhibits in response to the SEC over 7 different exhibits. The SEC really hasn't changed their story at all, which is what many people expected. I mean, they've missed deadlines and kind of absurdly pretend that the price crash of Pulse on what would have been 7/31, July 31st of 2023, when their filing came down, had something to do with Richard or like the prices that day when it was their own lawsuit. They literally talk about that in there, which is just, you want to strangle these people.
Right.
Anyway, so RH attorneys continue to say that jurisdiction is the issue. I mean, they're really hammering home on this. The SEC didn't address it differently really at all. The actual oral arguments is set for October the 24th, which I know a lot of Hexicans are talking about going there. As long as they behave, more power to them, obviously. And that'll be the biggest date yet. I mean, that's where we'll really see the arguments as to whether this motion to dismiss should be granted, largely just based on jurisdiction. That's really all that his attorneys are going to focus on. Maybe things here and there will pop up about some of the claims from the SEC, no matter how like frivolous and fake and misspoken they are. Maybe some of them will come up. They're really going to focus on jurisdiction because that's what they want to just do, is get this thrown out right away. So yeah, what do you make of any of the filings so far? And then, yeah, that's the nuclear herbs tweet. I mean, he went real deep. I'll just kind of summarize what I got out of that first.
Go ahead.
So he talked about the SEC contradicting and abandoning suing over the alter egos thing they call PulseX, Hex, Richard's alter egos. Also, his stream with Corey Costa the other night. Biggest takeaway from me that is something that we haven't heard about like a lot. Is he did say, talking about people showing up to the courthouse on October the 24th in New York. He said that people showing up in droves could make a really big impact actually to the judge, because this is just a motion to dismiss hearing. And he said that like normally when she would be doing these, it's to an empty courtroom 90+% of the time. So if you have like a packed courtroom with a bunch of people that hopefully are acting, you know, somewhat normal and civil and quiet, because it's very easy to get thrown out of something like that. You're not going on to like a Jerry Springer, God rest his soul, set or anything like that. Like you're not going there to be wild and clap and shit like that. Just go to hang out. Even if you dress like business casual or whatever, just go shut your mouth and listen to the proceedings and show that you're there for RH's team. But I just thought it was really intriguing that I didn't think he would say that it would have much of an impact. But if a judge, I guess, is sitting there like she's only human, and they're like, so the SEC, this agency that nobody elected, is bringing all these claims against this guy for defrauding all these people, yet why are like 100 of them here, you know, defending the guy? So
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I talked.
Well, that is a big thing. And you know, the one thing that we do need to reiterate for people is to dress nicely, use your manners, keep it quiet, because the judge thinks that, according to the SEC, the judge will read that and think, well, this very smart guy took care of these not so smart, or took advantage of these not so smart people, right? I mean, we want to appear well dressed, well behaved, well, educated on what's going on, and show them that we're not stupid. Like, he didn't take advantage of anybody. We're here because we think this is a travesty, is what's happening. So, I just want to, remind people to be respectful and not make noise. And we definitely don't want to piss the judge off, because that could be just as harmful as it is helpful for being there. In all the ways that it is going to be helpful to see that many people there. It could be hurtful if people start acting out and talking and saying things that, when they shouldn't be talking. So I want people to respect the fact that they're in a courtroom, and you don't have to wear a suit and tie.
Right.
But jeans and a sport jacket would be nice to see a bunch of people that are well dressed. And
Well, Corey Costa on that stream said he was wearing his wife beater that he wears on his streams there. So
I hope not.
Yeah, I mentioned it to him. He's like, "Yeah, I'll show up in the beater." So no, I'm just kidding.
No, I don't think he would. But
no.
But yeah, so that's really the big thing that I got out of that. The one thing is also how the SEC was kind of throwing digs in there about the price. Totally not necessary. And as you saw, I don't think the RH's lawyers addressed that whatsoever. Like it's not pertinent to what's going on at all. So
right.
I don't think they addressed that at all in their response or anything like that. So, it's just, I think they're just trying to throw digs in there wherever they can. And I hope they do bring it up. The fact that the reason the price went down was because the case was filed, right?
Exactly.
You guys caused this, not any kind of malicious activity or spending money that shouldn't have been spent or any reason of that nature. So,
yeah, I'm with you. But yeah, honestly, for anybody that is really thinking about going to the court date, please just make sure you conduct yourself the right way. It's a boring courtroom. It's going to be boring as hell for the most part until you hear more so like Richard's attorney's arguments and stuff. So just hang out, sit down, chillax, enjoy the day in New York City, and just chill out. Nobody needs to get rowdy or anything. And Yellowtail made me laugh in the chat. You don't have to put it up on screen, but if you want to take a look at that in the
I saw
the chat,
I saw it.
There
will be no dancing of coffins or anything like that.
No dancing on coffins or
I've spent time with him, and he's a good guy. He just gets a little loud sometimes on Twitter. So
don't we all? Yeah.
I mean, it's a personality when you're behind the computer screen, and people act completely different when you're in person.
Good point.
So
yeah, good point.